Hi Gemini, I'm Anisha. You can write to me at tarotbyanisha@gmail.com. You can also visit my website www.tarotbyanisha.com, and this is your monthly forecast for December 2015. We've already reached the end of the month, Geminians, and what a ride 2015 has been. We're beginning, or rather we are ending this year with a beautiful grand trine that is there amongst all the fire signs, that is Leo, Aries and Sagittarius, and this is lighting up a part of your chart that speaks about partnerships, it speaks about relationships and your marriage as well. Now this is a house which is the house wherein that you go to where you find insight on relationships. It's traditionally called the house of marriage, but it really defines as to how it is that you pair up, be it in love, friendship or business partnerships. Now this house also holds clues to all the one-on-one ties that we have with other people, which also includes our enemies and our arch rivals. The many hues of relating from harmony to life or death power struggles are expressed in this particular house. Now this entire focus for you Geminians as we begin the month, the key for you is going to be overcoming the fear of rejection, disappointments in early relationships, shouldering heavy burdens in love, and also marrying for societal reasons or societal status as well. Now love, try not to sort of confuse your emotions or as far as love is concerned, or combine it with business alliances, and try not to be overly dependent on approval. You have to, things that you must be doing as we begin the month is try and bring discipline to staying current with friends and with lovers, wisdom earned in relationships, attracted to establish, settle people, and this is the key message for you. I think it pretty much encapsulates the entire year for you, Gemini. So while a lot of you have been focusing on your immediate family, maybe your children, your parents and so on and so forth, there seems to be a trend wherein a lot of friendships seem to have got neglected. So the entire gist for you as we close this year is to not sort of ignore those relationships and don't worry so much, Gemini. And I think this entire 2015 year has gone for you in trying to seek approval from a lot of people. It doesn't matter, don't sort of keep chasing everybody to like you or everybody to be giving you that approval, because it's not going to be happening and it's quite all right. So this run for being the best PR person in 2015, I think a lot of you should be tired by now, by end of the year. And this trend also, Geminians, carries on for you in 2016 and early 2017, where a lot of focus is there on acceptance as well. I think for a lot of you there is a sense of insecurity of how it is that others perceive you, and hence there's this huge effort which is made in order to be liked. So while on one side, of course, you have worked really hard in, with your families, with your parents, with your children, with your spouses, and you worked really hard at, or rather they have been the focus in this entire 2015. You've made an earnest effort to keep them closer or get along better, or spend more time with them, but as a result your friendships have got neglected. So the focus now, the key is the universe is saying, change track now. You need to be looking at your friendships, you need to be looking at your relationships more seriously, rather than the I would say the chase for approval. Geminians, you need to be really dropping it. And it's very hard for Geminians because I think amongst all, even though you are a dual sign and people often accuse you of not having a stable mind, but the truth is I think Geminians hate to be disliked. They'll make really, even though they'll deny it on the surface and say with caustic remarks, I really don't care. But the truth is that all Geminians love to be liked and love to be amongst friends, and everybody sort of inviting them and chatting them and so on and so forth. On the 12th of December, we have Venus that is entering Scorpio, and this is entering in a part of your chart that is speaking about your day-to-day activities. It's speaking about your health, and it's also speaking about being organized as far as detail-oriented work is concerned. Now, Venus is going to be coming and taking the sting out of, or the intensity which Scorpio would be giving it into this particular part of your chart. And I think it's quite a beautiful placement because with Venus being over there, it's a very boring planet because it has to do with your day-to-day chores and it has to do with your health and being organized with the paperwork. So when Venus comes, it just generally makes everything quite fun, So when she's going to be coming in, and you'll find that, you'll enjoy doing chores, you'll find doing small things, you'll find happiness in that. So December, there's a lot of focus mid-month, and this aspect begins for you mid-month, that you'll find the patience to be doing those chores. You'll find that little joy in doing maybe the tedious work which you could have earlier either shunned or you could have grumbled about it. This also covers paying your bills. It can also be maybe learning a program on computer. This also has to do with, because the aspect over here is it's also communication, and it also covers technology to a certain extent. So it'll be good for you to be maximizing this. Also, because Venus is all about beauty as well, it can be that you will be quite interested in either joining a gym to look more better, to get more fitter, to beautify yourself. So all that focus is going to be there. On December 12th, again, we have Mars that is going to be entering your house of love, romance, creativity and children. And this is going to be opposing Uranus that is there in your house of long distance travel. So it seems to be, even though of course your Mars is all about action, Mars is about energy, taking decisions. So it can be that during this time, even though you will be wanting to take a firm decision as far as your love relationship is concerned, or you would be wanting a kind of a decision during this time, Geminians. It's also a time where sports activities are recommended, so you'll be able to channelize all that hyperactivity that you could be feeling during this time. And it can also be that if you were to spend time with children, I think it will be quite brilliant. So during December, try and channelize your creative energies that are there, and try and spend time with children doing some creative projects. However, watch out for arguments as far as your romantic partners are concerned, because Mars is there. You'll say stuff which you're going to regret. So there is really no point being too aggressive, Geminians. And because you are there, Mars is there in opposition with Uranus, that is there about long distance travel. It can be that something comes to your mind and you are, it can be about a long distance travel. And you could be quite unhappy about it. There seems to be some form of a argument or a discussion or a challenge that lies in about not seeing things eye to eye over here. And Uranus, of course, is there in this house of long distance travel. It's about meeting with people with different cultures, different countries, different backgrounds. And Uranus is the he's the reckless teen of astrology. So there can be a sense of wanting to do or travel to places which are really unseen before, and just sort of backpack and get out and do things, which the heart really desires. And it can be impromptu. There can be a desire to break the norms, not do the conventional thing. And there's also a time, the important thing, Geminians, for you to know during this entire Mars and Uranus opposition is that the challenge over here is going to be recognizing some self-truth over here. That's what Uranus also does, because Uranus can bring out some stuff which you will not like. And because Mars is there, you may end up saying something and you may hear some truth as well about yourself. And also it's about dropping your stubborn ego during this time and accepting, which is going to be a tough thing for you, Geminians, because a lot of you in any case firmly believe that you don't have an ego. But the thing is that with this particular aspect, Mars is going to be making you quite aggressive, and it's a time where you're not going to be taking criticism very easily. But the lesson over here as we're ending the year, Geminians, again, is to be dropping that stubborn ego and listening to some wisdom, which will do. Try and look at the criticism as a feedback that is coming to you. We have a full moon on Christmas, and that is happening in your house of communication. It's happening in your house of technology, siblings, some amount of short distance travel. I won't say long distance travel over here. And full moon is really a culmination. It can be that during this time there is a project in December, it's coming to an end, and there could be a celebration at home. It could be that you're getting together with your family, with your cousins, with your extended family, and you could be it can be a time where you will be wanting to spend more time either with your community, neighbors, doing the lunches, barbecues. It's just a time wherein that a lot of conversations could be happening around the project that has got finished right now, because it's full moon, it's culmination, something has finished, and so there could be conversations around, okay, now next what needs to be done. So a lot of conversation around that could be there. It can also be that you could find it hard to communicate exactly as to what is it that you want, Gemini. So try and sort of be slow down your communication, Geminins, even though a lot of you, and I've interestingly seen that with a lot of Geminins, that you talk so fast at times. Obviously your thoughts race faster, that you become almost incoherent. So slow down during this time. This is towards Christmas, towards end of the year again, and if you're trying to get your point across to someone, take your time, take a deep breath, and in short, even if you're taking half an hour to explain something which could have said in 5 minutes, that's quite all right. Take your time. And you could find people quite overwhelming during this time, and it's also a time wherein that you could be required, or you could be feeling generally quite tied down. There could be not restrictions, but there could be a lot of expectations out of you during this time, and you could just generally be feeling quite torn. Do I do this? Do I do that? And what do I do? So the end of the year, Geminians, it's, I think, ending for you on a very interesting note. It's ending on the culmination of, again, I mean, you're really the zodiac of communication, so but this entire need to be able to say things the way that you want them to, the entire lesson for you over here is there, and to be recognizing that communication needs to be, it's not what you say, Geminians, it's how you say. So the key as we close the year is pretty much that for you. Also keep in mind, as far as because Mars is there very, very strongly placed this entire month, and the effect for you, again, the trend, like I had mentioned earlier, battling with relationships, vis-a-vis the self-ego, vis-a-vis looking at things which you may sort of right or wrong, and that's not the point, is that whether they can be done in any other way, and you need to be exploring, and you need to be keeping your mind open. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Geminians. I'll see you again soon, and thank you so much for watching.